So we continue on part 2 of our double personality disorder, or really order. And the idea again is that how do we deal? On one side, we try to be like the soul and believe that everything is the hand of God and technically we don't have to do anything. And on the other side, we are human and we have to use our humanhood. I want to give our human abilities, physical, material, strength, and desires to connect to God. So again, we have to understand that one is here for the other. The reason the soul is brought down in the body is to take the body and elevate it. So, but the body has to get in that soul, integrate that soul, and for that to happen, it needs to sense the soul. How does it sense the soul? By becoming a refined vessel and becoming more close to the soul, like the soul, and therefore the body has to almost start acting, using all its desires and all its feelings to be like the soul, which is then going to bring us to be like Hashem. That's how we learn. The Torah teaches that how to do that. So, and that's the reason why the Ramchal, for example, explained that when in Olam Haba, in the world to come, we are gonna go there with our body. The body is meant to be elevated, and same thing. There's gonna be the resurrection of the dead. No, we don't need to come back just as soul. We're gonna come back with our body, who has been transformed with the soul. So I want to give a simple example of that struggle in everyday life. We spoke before about having like someone who is dating and looking for someone. But I want to speak, for example, about someone who is sick and needs healing. So do I go to the doctor and I ask him to take care of me and take medicine, all that? Or no, I'm super connected to God, and then I just pray to God and that God is gonna heal me. So really is that some people are not ready to be healed straight by God. They're not yet on the level on the level of connection to be able to deserve or receive that. So what's happening is that when we're sick, we're really trying to enhance our connection with God, and we're still gonna be healed by God through the doctor, but it's gonna be through the doctor. But all this is to push us to realize eventually that the body is just the doctor is just a messenger, a vessel, but it's to push myself to pray more to God and to connect more to God through that sickness, through that healing process. Eventually you want to reach the level where I don't even need to rely on the doctor. I can rely totally on Hashem. But one has to make sure that one is on the level. Now, this is the same reason why it says that God answers the prayer of the tzaddikim right away. A tzaddik, someone who is very holy, is so close to Hashem, it happens right away. So we need rain, you need a baby, you have a baby, you need a shidduch, you get a shidduch. Why did they get answered right away? Because they don't live anymore on the level of humanhood, of the human. They live on the level of the soul, of the body, even though we could say that the human is the combination of both. When I mean of human, I mean on the level of the body, nature, the level of nature. So we try to achieve the level of tzaddikim. We're so close to God, and they're so close to God because they live on a level, they reach that level by constantly working on using the body as the tool to connect to the soul. So we have to be very attuned to what the body wants and needs, so that then we really completely use it to connect to Hashem. We have to use all those desires and needs and lacks and wants in order to push ourselves to be constantly connected to God. And that's what's going to transform us into a level where we're going to be, the body is going to be transformed and become like the soul. And we're going to go back to the level of Adam HaRishon in Gan Eden, where originally our body was almost nothing, and we were mostly a soul, and we're gonna reach even higher level than that. But the fact that we're now here, we're here to use our body and our needs as the tool to be more like the soul and feel like the soul. So we have to never miss any opportunity. Anytime you feel something, you feel a need, or you feel a lack of something, imagine that you're speaking, you have someone who is a billionaire and is right here. Anything you need, you're confident that you can go to him, and with extreme closeness, is your best friend. You have a billionaire, he's your best friend. That's God. God is a billionaire and he's your best friend. He can give you anything, anytime. But you need to create that connection with him. If you feel close to God, like you feel that your billionaire is your best friend, or your billionaire is your father, right? You can go to your father, no problem. You talk to him, you tell him what you need, all that. With that level of closeness and reality, then we reach a level where it's going to be the same with God, and it can prevent us from going through a lot of struggles that push us to the extreme to reach that. Now we have to understand that the level of Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, who prayed for children, but sometimes even though we're good and we're pretty close to God, Hashem is going to push us to even a more extreme level. So Abraham, Sarah, and Rachel and Hannah, they prayed crazy. But what did they get through that? They got a child that was beyond anything. They got Yitzchak, or they got the 12 tribes, or they got Shmuel from Hannah. So if you push to transcend your human emotions and human desire and to reach that extreme desire to be close to God, then you're going to bring out something extreme. Y.Y. Jacobson was saying that it's a very famous concept in Hasidus and Kabbalah, that there is nothing that once you go into darkness, it will always, meaning when God pushes you into the darkness, you will always end up going back to a light that is more bright and more beautiful and more powerful than the original light to where you were. It's a very deep concept, but that's really what we're talking about here. We're pushed to deal with our body to the extreme, and the body is the darkness, the pain, the suffering is the extreme, and then it pushes us to then go back to a level of connection to God that is higher than ever before. Now, it's not easy, and one has to work really hard on feeling, how can I be connected to God? How can I improve my prayer? How can I improve my learning of Torah? Do I feel God is speaking to me really when I learn Torah? Do I feel I'm really speaking to God when I pray? Do I really, when I do my mitzvah, do I understand them, how they enable to connect me? Do I see the love of God in everything around me, in nature, in everything I receive, that everything is a gift? We have to push our level of awareness to the extreme. Again, we're speaking about extreme, but it's a healthy extreme. There's the last thing that I want to share is that, so what if someone is not meant to be married? Again, we're speaking about extremely rare case, but let's say someone is not meant to be married, and there sometimes we have to be able to say that, okay, God maybe doesn't want me to be married, but he's gonna give me what I need to experience that same thing, even maybe a higher thing. Meaning, what is the real purpose of having parents, or the real purpose of being married? One of the main real purpose is because we're meant to experience the same thing with Hashem. We know to Kivud Avim, having parents, is on the section in the Ten Commandments of the mitzvahs between God and man, not between man and man. Therefore, when Adam and Eve didn't have parents, who were the first parents? It was Hashem. So we have to connect to God on the level that we understand that all of this is for us to be able to connect to Him, and really we don't need to have parents technically, but to reach that feeling of God being a parent, we need human parents to most of the time to experience it. But really, technically, you don't need it. Same thing with marriage. You can have a marriage of God that is so deep that you reach a level like Moshe Rabbeinu, who didn't have to stay with his wife anymore. He could be with Hashem. A different opinion if it was right or wrong, but we don't see anything from the verses. It doesn't seem that there was anything negative at that level, at that moment. And Moshe Rabbeinu reached a level where he could experience something even higher than being married, which is would be with God. So we have to understand that even sometimes we feel we don't have something, and we have a need for it. Hashem can put you in a position where you're gonna have something even greater than that need. But you think you need that, but really you don't need it. And not only that, you're gonna have it on a high level. Being married with God is much higher than being married with a human being. Now, this is only on very extreme case, but I just wanted to share that idea that I think it's important to still understand. Sometimes we get stuck with one thing, even with small thing, and really I can have something much greater. I just have to see how this need is going to be fulfilled somewhere else, and look how Hashem interacts with me. But we have to push ourselves to use all those feelings of the lack and ask Hashem, I'll feel that lack for me, and see how Hashem is going to feel it for us in the right way. All right, so let us reach that level, and good luck to all.